What's up, guys? Thursday night, final score 7:30, right here on this final score station, I guess what you want to call it. Week 6 of the NFL is in the books. Week 7 coming up this weekend. We had some big college football going on this weekend, a big game there. And also the baseball playoffs are starting, have started up. And yeah, there's a couple of things we need to talk about with that. Me and with me tonight, again as always, is Mr. Matthew Bazemore. What's up, Matthew?
What's going on, Stevie? What's up, y'all?
Same old here, but just work, work,
I know that.
work. And I know you know all
I
about
like,
that. You did get to go to the state fair yesterday, though. You look like you had a good
yeah,
time.
yeah, I did. It was a lot of fun. Kind of, I had enough of it though.
Enough of it already.
Yeah, because for one thing, I live like 2 blocks from the state fair, and
Oh,
getting
so you
home
have to
from work
deal with
every
it
day
all the
is like,
time. You have to deal with all that traffic and
yes,
stuff, don't you?
yes.
Yeah, I know that gets aggravating. So what was it? What was it that you were eating out there, Mr.
It was a
Osborne?
rattlesnake corn dog.
Rattlesnake corn dog.
Yeah,
Sounds
I was like,
delicious.
every year I always go and get the normal stuff like cheeseburgers, tenders, and there's stuff you can get somewhere else. I'm like, this year I
Right.
want to try something exotic.
How
I
much did
want
that thing cost?
14. I think it was like $14 or $16.
Some
One of them.
somebody said they had fried fried crab legs on a stick for $30. That's crazy. I ain't paying no $30
Well,
for crab legs on a
I
stick.
didn't see that, but God, I didn't. I wouldn't have got it no way.
Yeah, I ain't paying $30 for no
But
crab legs on a stick. No.
oh, hold on 1 second. Sorry,
You there?
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. We
Yeah,
can hear you. You there?
yeah, I'm here finally.
Okay, there we go. There we go. We got a little technical difficulties. We're all right. Um, yeah, I haven't been to the state fair because probably since my senior year in high school. That was 31 years ago. So, yeah, I haven't missed anything. In my opinion, I haven't missed anything. So, uh,
Yeah, me.
but sports
That was
world.
a Pepsi flight. Oh,
What?
okay.
What'd you say? A Pepsi? What?
I said the Pepsi was $8.
I'd have brought my own.
I know, right?
Jeez, $8 for a Pepsi. How much was the water? Like six?
I don't even know. I didn't even want to know because like I think I'm guessing like $4 or $5. I remember last year I got one, but it's probably more this year.
Probably so. I mean, oof. I can't. You can't. Pay all that money for water that you can get right out of the faucet at home for free. So
Right.
things have changed, bud. Things have changed. So we had week 6 in the NFL, and but first, before we get to the NFL, let's talk a little bit about some college football. Big game this past week. Alabama, number 2, and I think Tennessee was like number 4 or 5, something like that. Big SEC matchup at Tennessee. And guess what? Ding dong, the witch is dead. Alabama goes down. Down goes Frazier. Uh, but man, Tennessee pretty much had that game in hand all game till like the fourth quarter. And then you started seeing Alabama creep their way back in. And then the last possession Alabama had by us, I was like, they're going to win. They're going to go down the field, kick a field goal. It was tied up at 49. And then to miss the field goal and let Tennessee go down the field with less than a minute left and get in field goal range and kick a field goal to win. Wow. So all you Alabama fans out there, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. It nothing against Alabama. Well, yeah, it is against Alabama. I just don't. I'm tired of Alabama. Tired of them. You
Yeah. Kind of like the
get.
Patriots
Well, yeah, the Patriots, and now they're kind of.
at one
I mean, they're
time.
so right now. They're not bad, but they're not good. So
Yeah.
great or
But at
anything.
one time they were like,
Oh
all right,
gosh, I was
Patriots going
tired
right
of
back
them.
to Super Bowl.
So tired of them.
Me too.
'82 with the 49ers started, and then they kept on and kept on and kept on. I just got tired of Montana. Yeah, it's the only team I haven't got tired of is Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's not going to happen either. So Alabama goes down. They'll probably still somehow, even though there'll probably be 3 or 4 undefeated teams at the end of the year, even though they've got one loss, they'll probably still make the playoffs somehow, some way. I think Nick Saban's got somebody's pockets line, but you know, speaking of teams with big pockets, baseball playoffs started, and the Yankees were in the ALCS against the Astros. And somebody made a comment last night on the live video. If you guys weren't here, Mr. Joe Jenkins, who just happens to be Matthew's granddaddy, telling me I should pull for the Yankees. And I just told Mr. Joe, I'm sorry, Mr. Joe. A lot of things are going to happen, but that's not going to be one. And me and Matthew were talking before we went on air. The day I pull for the Yankees will be the day that I pull for the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm telling you, buddy, that's not going to happen. You could put like 30 Steeler guys on the Baltimore Ravens team, and I call them traitors. I would not.
I'm about to talk you into it.
Do what?
I said I'm gonna have to talk you into it. I'm pretty good at
No,
doing
it's
that.
not gonna happen, bud. I will pull. The playoffs this year were anyone but the Yankees. Sorry, can't do it. Can't do it. The evil empire.
Why not the Red Sox? I mean, why the Yankees?
Well, the Red Sox didn't make the playoffs.
Well, that's true, but why not the Yankees?
Why not the Yankees? They're just. I mean, come on. Look, let me tell you this, bud. This is the problem I have with the Yankees, and it's not their fault, but I have to hold it against them because I can't hold it against anybody else. The Yankees, there's no salary cap in baseball. So for years now, and maybe not now as much as it was before, for years now, the Yankees have just used. I mean, the only person I remember coming up through their farm system was Jeter that did anything significant. The rest of them, the Yankees just used the rest of Major League Baseball as their farm system because no salary cap. They've got all this income coming in from their own television network and all this other stuff. They can afford to spend that money. You think about it, Matthew. Let's say you're a pitcher. You came out of college. You got drafted by the Kansas City Royals. Okay?
Yeah.
You had 3 they signed you to like a 4-year contract. You've had 3 really good seasons with them. The 4th season, you had a really good season. You've been an all-star. And time comes for a contract. So, do you think, as Matthew Bazemore, and being objective, not saying you're a Yankee fan, just think outside the box. I'm not a Yankee fan. You're playing for the Royals. They offer you a contract. They can't offer you anywhere near the amount of money that the Yankees can. The Yankees could sit there and watch the Royals say, let's say they offered you, Matthew, oh shoot, $60 million over 3 years or something like that. So the Yankees just sit back and say, guess what, Matthew, we see that offer. We're going to offer you $180 million over 3 years. And you get to be in New York. And you get to be a Yankee. So who are you going to pick?
Yankees.
Exactly. You think about all these small market
who
teams.
wouldn't?
Exactly. Like Kansas City, like Oakland, just to name a few. That's what they deal with. They can bring a guy through their farm system, he's an all-star for 3 or 4 years in their system. And when the time for a new contract comes up, the Yankees said, okay, I got a target on him. And it's pretty much like AAA baseball. The Major League Baseball is AAA baseball for the Yankees. And they just pick what they want from other teams and offer them god-awful amounts of money to come play for the Yankees. They honestly should win the World Series every year with their salary cap. And I'll say this, the Red Sox had started doing it too up until, the last 2 or 3 years. But the Red Sox had started doing it too. And that was so they could try to compete
Well,
with the Yankees.
well, yeah, and plus we all know Yankees. Well, in my opinion, Yankees is more of a business team than like an athletic team.
It's kind of like the
Does that make any
Cowboys.
sense?
Like the Cowboys.
Exactly.
Jerry Jones looks at
Yes,
the
they're a
Cowboys
business
as a
team.
business. No doubt
Yes,
about it.
and the Yankees does too.
Well,
And that's why you see the Yankees like they got to have certain haircuts and can't have tattoos or something. They
right.
got a lot of regulations you got to follow when you're a player with them. That's
But
why it's that way too, because it's more of a
Let's
business.
say Kansas City doesn't have its own television network like the Yankees do. So that money's
Hmm.
piling in, and I mean, I just would love, and I know a lot of people disagree with me. I would love to see Major League Baseball go to a salary cap and see, throw it down there. Say, hey, guess what? You're all going to be out. Your salary cap's going to be all the same. You ain't going to be able to do all this god awful contracts like 300 and some $1 million to one player for playing baseball, and we're going to see who can put together the best team. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do it because the
No,
Yankees.
that's more that's too artificial. Like
Yeah, but
it'll be nice, but it's a little
yeah,
too.
I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to see? Why, as far as Major League Baseball is concerned, here's my question to, and if anybody out there, big time Major League Baseball fans, bigger than I am, because I used to be a big one, but I don't really do it that much anymore. Tell me why it would not be an advantage for Major League Baseball to have a salary cap. That's a good question. Why is it not? Why would it not be an advantage for Major League Baseball to have a level playing field for all these teams and be more competitive? Why would that not work? I want to hear. I want to hear your comments. All right, moving on. Moving on
I
now.
think then you'll be able to see like the coaches and them don't depend on the strategy of baseball no more. It's just the business.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then you'll find out
Like
who the best managers
exactly.
are. Then you'll find out who the best general managers are, who can put a team together. That would be
And it
more.
might be a team that you have.
I mean, the big market teams like New York. You're in New York. That's a big market team. Boston, big market team.
Yeah,
Atlanta, big market team. But some of these other guys, Minnesota. I mean, Oakland, and like we said, Kansas City, small market teams. They don't. Maybe they'll sneak up every once in a while. Kansas City snuck up a few years back and got a World Series, but then the team just split apart. So there was no chance of that staying together.
hmm
But it's an interesting question, and I'm not saying I will disagree with any of the stuff, any of the comments that people might say about um, what their opinion is on that. But um, yeah,
I just
it's,
like to see other people's intakes.
yeah, I like to see whatever other people would think about that, and be sure to post it on our Facebook page or send me an email, final
Yeah.
score 7399 at gmail.com. Also, next week, guys, keep your eyes and ears open on the final score because we've got something big going on, something that'll get you guys involved, and you might even get something out of it. Who knows? You might even get a little something
Yeah.
to remember us by out of it. But we'll talk more about that next week. All right, let's get right into it. Week 6 of the NFL was this past week. I think I'm right there. And right there, week 6. Yeah, hard to believe it's
Yeah.
already week 6. Let me tell you what. For
Yeah, I know it's
while,
like halfway over.
yeah, when we get started right here, you know, everybody talks about the Amazon Prime game on Thursday that you can only get it when uh, when Amazon. You can only get it on Amazon Prime. You can't get it on NFL Network. Well, guess what, guys? So far, you've been lucky if you don't have Amazon Prime because these games on Thursday night have absolutely sucked. I mean, especially the last two. Colts beat the Broncos in week 4, 12-9. 12-9 in overtime. The Colts and the Broncos couldn't even score a field goal. And then this past week, Commanders and Bears combined for 19 points. Wow.
which I think still ended up surprising people.
Well, the surprise was probably that. Listen to these stats now. All right, Carson Wentz, who got injured in that game. He's going to dealing with I think his ring finger broke or something. He's out for 3 weeks. So Taylor Heineke's going to be
Finger, yeah.
he's going to be put in this week. 12 for 22, 99 yards, no touchdowns, no interception. It was 3-0 at halftime. 3-0. I'm sitting there like, I didn't watch it. Justin Fields again. He did throw the ball more this week than he has the other 5 weeks put together. 27 attempts, 14 completions, 190 yards, a touchdown, and interception. Brian Robinson. If you don't know who Brian Robinson is, the Redskins running back that was, I don't know if you remember hearing about this, Matthew, that was shot in a robbery. I think this was during training camp or preseason. He got shot, and he got his first start, 17 carries, 60 yards, a touchdown, and it ends up being the deciding factor. The Redskins scored 9 in the fourth quarter and edge out a 12-7 win, or Redskins Commanders, excuse me, get the win 12-7, moving their record to 2-4. Still dead last in the NFC East. And the Bears are 2-4, third in the NFC North. Now, some other Commander news. I don't know if you heard this or not. Colts owner Jim Irsay came out this week saying Daniel Snyder has got to go. And he thinks he has the 24 votes from the other owners that it would take to get him out. He thinks he has them in his pocket. So, here's my question.
How long?
Here's my question to you, Commander fans. Are you ready for Daniel Snyder to be gone? And I think the majority of you, if one out of 10 might say, no, I want him to stay. And I don't know what you're thinking, but best thing for the Commanders right now would be Daniel Snyder gone. This is a distraction.
Yeah, that should happen a long time ago.
Yes. But you're not going to get him out. You're not going to get him to voluntarily leave. He's not going to leave on his own. So,
no.
Yeah, this is going to have to be the way. Jim Irsay, saying he's got the 24 votes, and I think I did get a text from a Commanders fan yesterday, and said, "Oh my God, it might actually happen." She said, "But no, I'm not getting my hopes up." So maybe it'll happen. We don't know. All right.
They're going to have to propose a big. They're going to have to pay him.
Yeah. Well, he's going to have to sell the team. So, and a lot of people have talked about what's that guy's name? Bezos, the guy that owns Amazon. I don't know what his name is, but the guy that owns that. Yeah, the guy that owns that has wanted to buy an NFL team, and this could be his chance right here. So keep your eyes and your ears open, guys. It could happen. I hope that it does for the Washington fans. For all Washington
fans.
FedEx
Stadium is going to be
that would be a good Christmas present for all you.
It's going to be like the Amazon.
Yeah, it would. It would be Amazon everything there. Prime this, Amazon this.
Yeah.
But I think the Commanders fans would welcome it right now. All right. Vikings and the Dolphins. Still no Tua. Teddy Bridgewater, who had been we missed a week before last. I had a lot going on the week before last, so I could not even concentrate on this. So that's another story. So, but Tua still out. Teddy Bridgewater got put out last week, but he gets cleared right before the game to take on Captain Kirk and the Minnesota Vikings. Now, coming into this game, Well, coming into this year, did you think at this time, coming into this game, that Minnesota would be 4-1 and on top of the NFC North?
No, not first. You said first or
Yeah, yeah. They're first place coming into this
yeah? I
game.
mean, nah, not first.
But and considering what Kirk Cousins, he can't win the big game. He's gonna choke and all this stuff. And so far, Captain Kirk's been good. So and Miami, who has just
He's
went
got potential.
after Tua gets hurt against Cincinnati, it just starts the wheels start falling off the bus. And yeah, it fell off. Some more fell off this week, but as Minnesota, but Captain Kirk, 175 yards, 2 TDs, no picks, and he leads the Vikings to another win, 24-16 over the Dolphins. And this is the Dolphins team that was going to run away with the AFC East. Now they're sitting third in the AFC at 3-3. And granted, I know Tua's out, but Tua should have been out
They got a
in
lot
that
going
Buffalo
on.
game. And now they're talking about Tua may end up playing against the Steelers this Sunday.
What?
Yes. And after you hear one doctor say Tua should hang it up, I hope he knows what he's doing
Yeah.
because, you're more apt after you get a concussion, especially a severe concussion like he had and nerve problems like he had when he was holding up his hands, you're more apt to take a hit or just a little hit and get another one. So, but
Yeah.
Vikings get the win, and they are surprisingly 5-1. Minnesota Vikings are 5-1. I know McKinley Jordan is happy right now. You can't tell him anything right now. McKinley has been a big Minnesota Vikings fan for a long time. He's one of the only Vikings fans I think I know. Um, but yeah, 5-1, first in the NFC North. The Dolphins fall to 3-3, third in the AFC East. So, Patriots and Browns. No Mac Jones, no Bobby Hoyer. We get Bailey Zapp as the quarterback for the Patriots. And guess what? He's 2-0 when he's in the game for the Patriots. So you watch out. Everybody talks about Mac Jones. Bailey Zapp could be the next Tom Brady. He finishes up his day 24 for 34, 309 yards, 2 TDs, no picks. That sounds pretty good to me. I don't know about you, Matthew. That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Um,
Better than Mac Jones.
yes, better than what Mac Jones is doing. But uh,
Yeah.
what is Belichick gonna turn the Patriots around again? I'm scared to say yeah because I'm scared it's gonna happen again, and we're gonna have to deal with this all over again.
Yeah.
But Cleveland, guess what? I don't care if you got Deshaun Watson or what, you still suck. God, 38-15. You got outscored 28-9 in the second half, and you got everybody's favorite assault guy, Miles Garrett, in there, and he's not doing a whole lot because Bailey Zapp had a big game against that defense. I don't care if Deshaun Watson plays offense and you have him up there. If that defense plays this way, not good. Nick Chubb didn't even have a good game the other day. 12 carries,
Yeah.
not for him. 12 carries, 56 yards, but it's just like I said, Cleveland will find a way to screw up everything as Cleveland loses 38-15.
Leave it to Cleveland.
And yeah, people like that. Well, Cleveland beat Pittsburgh. Yeah, they beat Pittsburgh. Whatever. Pittsburgh sucks too. I'll go ahead and tell you, Pittsburgh sucks too. We'll get into that in just a few minutes. But yeah, Cleveland 2-4, third in the AFC North. The Patriots are 3-3, fourth in the AFC East. That's hard to believe. So next
Yeah.
game up, Falcons and the 49ers. Now I'm going into this game. I'm like, this should be easy pickings for the 49ers. Not so fast. Marcus Mariota and the Falcons take care of business. Garoppolo It's 2 picks, and all of a sudden the Falcons are sitting at 3-3. They get a 28-14 win over the 49ers. Here's my question. Granted, they might have injuries and all this stuff going on with the 49ers, but which 49ers team is going to show up next week? Because this week it was not the same as the week before. 49ers could come out and
The
beat one of the top teams in football and then come out the next week and lose to the Falcons. I mean, granted, the Falcons are not a bad team right now, but they're not cream of the crop in the NFL. I don't see any. I didn't see any stats for Debo. I don't know if Debo even played. I'm sure he did,
I
but
don't think he did.
you don't think he did? Maybe that was the difference
I
there.
don't think so.
If Debo didn't
He
play,
might have though.
let me see here.
But when he out with an injury,
Uh, doesn't say. Nick Bosa was out. Doesn't say anything about Debo being out.
Debo.
So evidently he was in there. And the 49ers just didn't play a good game. 28-14. 49ers lose. They go to 3-3, still first in the NFC West. The Falcons go to 3-3, second in the NFC South. All right. Jeez. This is one of those games where I didn't really care. I didn't really care to watch it or who won or whatever. But the Bengals and the Saints. I'm I don't know. Burrow may be getting his groove back on now, and that could be kind of scary. But the Saints just bore me. I mean, you don't have Jameis Winston in,
Yeah.
which I mean, we've got Andy Dalton in, which he didn't do a bad job. He didn't turn the ball over, but the something about the Saints this year just bores me. I mean, they're not that wide open team that I remember. Granted, you lose Drew Brees, that'll happen, but they come close to
Yeah.
winning this game. But Joe Burrow, 3 touchdowns, 300 yards passing, no interceptions. I don't. Let's see how many times he was sacked in this game. 3 times. He got sacked 3 times. So that's better than like 7 that Pittsburgh did to him. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're starting to catch fire now. Bengals get the win 30-26. 3-3, second in the AFC North. The Saints go to 2-4, third in the NFC South. And it just, I don't know. It just doesn't. This game just didn't do anything for me. It was
It don't
20.
seem real.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go to the next game. I didn't even want to talk about the Bengals and the Saints. Tampa comes to Pittsburgh, and I'll be the first to tell you. I had a talk with one of my buddies. I was working Sunday morning, and one of my Steeler buddies came to the store, and I was like, "What's the outlook for today?" And both of us said it was not good. And I was like, "I'll be happy if we score 13 points." He said, "I'm thinking we'll score 13 points." I said, "I'll be happy with 13 points." But yeah, that was that was over pretty quick. We got to. I'm trying to see what the score was. I think we had maybe it was 10. No, yeah, 10-9 at the half. So still not much of an offensive explosion there. Do you know we had barely not even 300 yards of total offense. We had 270 yards of total offense. And the Buccaneers lose to us when we have 270 yards of offense with Tom Brady. Jeez, so that just tells you how bad Tom Brady. How maybe maybe the off the field problems are affecting him. I don't know, but yeah. And Trubisky has to step in
Well,
for in the second half of Pickett. Pickett out with a concussion, but Trubisky does a good job. Doesn't turn the ball over. Actually throws a touchdown, 144 yards and a touchdown. Brady 25 for 40, 243 yards, a touchdown, no interception. That touchdown comes late, and Pickett did throw his first touchdown in the first quarter. But I don't know if you heard about what happened on the sidelines in Tampa Bay. Uh, Brady is really
With
frustrated.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, he's frustrated. He starts getting in his lineman's face. But you listen to the story when the announcer said he wasn't at practice most of the week. He wasn't at the walkthrough on Saturday. So if I'm one of those offensive linemen and you're getting in my face after you haven't been there all week, I'm telling you, you better get out of my face now. I mean, I'm laughing at you. Just go. I don't care if you're Tom Brady,
Yeah.
whoever you are. You need to get out of my face right now. But it's Tom Brady, so he gets away with that. But the Steelers, 20-18. Who would have thunk it? How bad? But tell
All
me,
right.
Matthew, how bad are the Buccaneers?
I mean, better than Pittsburgh.
No, I don't know about that. I think we just caught them a good week. That's pretty bad there. But they're 3-3, and they're still
But
first
again, I
in
mean,
the NFC South.
Tampa's still first,
Yeah, yeah, they're tied. Well, they're first
but they
technically,
only won.
3-3. But
Okay.
Atlanta's 3-3 too, and I'm sure the Panthers
Mhm.
are down near the bottom. Let's see. I'm looking at standings right now.
Yeah, 1-4.
Hold on here. Mm,
Panthers like
yep,
1-5.
1-5. New Orleans 2-4. Atlanta 3-3, and Tampa is 3-3. So, but it's just like the NFC West. You got three teams tied at 3-3, and then Arizona at 2-4. So it's a lot. It's not. You usually have a couple of teams that are right there that are undefeated, which we only have one undefeated team going into this week, and we'll talk about them in a few minutes. But yeah, it's a lot of parity right now in the NFL. Probably the best division in football right now is the NFC East, believe it or not. And we'll
Yeah,
talk about that,
NFC
right?
East is looking good.
Well, let's talk about your boys right now. I'll give you some love, and I'm gonna give you a lot of love this week, more than I usually would, because you guys take on the Ravens,
All right.
the chosen one, Lamar Jackson, and once again
Yep.
they're up in the fourth quarter, 20-10. Big lead. Well, it's a big lead for the fourth quarter. 10 points. They were up 20-10, and questionable play calls and mistakes by Lamar Jackson. Two mistakes by Lamar Jackson, and the Giants get back in it, and the Giants end up getting the win over the Baltimore Ravens, 24-20. Now, let's talk a little bit about your Giants. Giants are doing something. They haven't been overwhelmingly impressive. You know what I'm saying? But they're finding ways to win in games. They're
Yeah.
coming from behind. The Dallas game was one thing, but these other five, they're coming from behind and finding ways to win. And they're a young team. I think they're going to just get better as time goes on. Daniel Jones seems to be catching stride. Saquon is back. Saquon is looks like Saquon,
Yeah.
and the defense is coming up with some big plays. So, what is your take on your Giants right now, Matthew?
Well, you brought up the point that they always come back, and it's to me too late in the game. Well, obviously not too late because we got to win, but that's what kills me every time. Cannot stand coming back right at the last every time. you know,
Yep.
I just wish like I would love to see a blowout. That's it. but but yeah, I love the way our offense is looking. I think we're getting better each week, especially our defense. Our defense is looking good.
and we didn't even talk about,
I like
like I said, we missed last week, so we didn't even talk about the fact that they went overseas and beat Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay last week, and they beat them, you know, a big play at the end, big hit that led to a fumble by Aaron Rodgers, and the Giants hang on to win. So they're, like I said, they're finding ways to win, and that's a team. That's something you look at a team, and you're like, okay, they're finding ways to win now. They're going to get better as time goes on.
hmm I
So
love Brian. I love Brian Dabble.
yeah, he's everybody's favorite in New York right now. Which, I mean, the Jets. I mean, we'll talk about the Jets
Yeah.
in a few minutes too. But uh, another question I've
Yes,
got for
sir.
everybody after throwing a late game interception and fumbling to pretty much seal the deal, is everybody still on the Lamar Jackson MVP train again now? Because I'm telling you, he's made mistakes in 2 games that I've seen that have cost them the game. The
Yeah,
Buffalo
too
game
many
where he threw the
mistakes.
interception in the end zone, and which I'll give him a little asterisk on that because that was his dumb coach's fault for going for it on fourth now and not putting points on the board and taking the lead. But that game, the Giants shut him down the second half, and 2 turnovers that were costly turnovers. Yeah, some of these people are hopping off
Yeah,
that Lamar
Kayvon
Jackson
Thibodeau.
MVP train. All right, Giants are 5-1. Wow,
The
would you ever
luckiest
thought
five and
that?
one team.
Honestly, honestly, Matthew, would you ever thought at this point of the season that the Giants would be 5-1?
No, I can't remember. I can't remember the last time we had a 5-1 season.
To be honest with you, I can't either. I don't know when y'all have had a 5-1 season.
I'm still hurt about the 3-13.
I'm sure. Sure, but it looks like the future might look bright for the Giants. So the
Yeah, well, they
Ravens.
were looking at picking up people. We contacted Carolina this week
Oh,
with,
really?
with DJ Moore.
That would be a big pickup there. I think Carolina's getting ready to have a fire sale. Uh,
Oh yeah,
we'll talk about that in a few minutes too. Jets and the Packers. What is going on with Green Bay? I mean, you lose to the 2 New York teams 2 weeks in a row, and you're not putting up points. Everybody's favorite All-State agent, Aaron Rodgers, is struggling. He does not look Aaron Rodgers like. And I know he's got young receivers. It's a young team, but what's the problem in Green Bay?
I don't know. I know I said a couple weeks ago that the only way Giants would win, talking about the Giants game, is because their defense. Green Bay's defense ain't that good to me,
Yeah, I mean,
and
I don't know.
Aaron Rodgers ain't even throwing over 200 yards. If he is, barely.
Barely. He had
Yeah.
246 yards this week.
Okay, so he got a little more than usual this year. But I think that's their problem. I think they need some new offensive
Well,
coaching.
yeah. Well, he's not gonna take Aaron Rodgers is not gonna take the heat on him. That's for sure. He's gonna blame it on
Oh
everybody
no.
else but him. 3-3 at the half, and then the second half, the Jets just turn it on. The Jets turn it on. When's the last time you heard that? Jets
Yeah.
get the win, 27-10. What about the Jets? The Jets are 4-2. There's so many surprise teams this year. Minnesota, the Giants, the Jets. I mean, it should be interesting to see if these guys can keep it up. Uh, I know some of my football players. Dawson Van, for one, is pretty pretty happy about that. He said every year for the last 2 or 3 years the Jets are going to make the Super Bowl. So we'll see. It looks like they're headed in the right direction. But
He,
I don't
he's
know.
a Jets fan.
I don't know. I don't know if he's doing it as a joke or what, but he sure talks about him a lot. So maybe he is a Jets fan. He would be one of the few that I know. He'd probably be the only one that I know, just like the Vikings, McKinley and the Vikings. But
Yeah, I don't know any Jets fans.
yeah, not around here.
Yeah.
So next game up, the the I'd rather watch paint dry game of the week: the Seahawks and the Cardinals.
It's boring.
What a disappointment the Arizona Cardinals have been so far this year. I know DeAndre Hopkins is not in, and he's coming back this week, by the way. I saw his little social media post about don't call it a comeback, and so he'll be back this week. I don't whether that makes a difference. I don't know. We'll talk about in a few minutes. We'll talk about another receiver they just picked up through a trade, but we'll talk about that in one of the other games coming up. But I mean, this game was worse than I really didn't want to talk about this one either. Uh,
I've
but
never gotten so distracted away from a football game.
I mean,
Like,
and look, Geno Smith has stepped in. Who would have thought Geno Smith would have a better record right now? The Seahawks have a better record with Geno Smith at the quarterback than the Broncos do with Russell Wilson, who just left Seattle. Makes you wonder. But the Seahawks, all I can say about it, the Seahawks get the win 19-9. They are 3-3, third in the NFC West. The Cardinals fall to 2-4, fourth in the NFC West. Hey, yeah, the NFC West. Yeah, excuse me. Ah, Colts and Jaguars. And guess what, Matthew? We put the kiss of death on Jacksonville. You know that, right?
we
'Cause
did.
I don't think they've won a game since we said on here. Watch out, Jacksonville's a team you got to look out for. I think they have gone winless since then. So Trevor Lawrence will probably
Yeah.
be beating down at both our doors. They y'all need to shut up about us. Uh,
Especially, he can come beat down our doors, especially next week for me, Giants.
oh yeah, so we'll
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit too. But which team that we talked about like which 49ers teams go up. Which one of these two teams is going to show up? Because one week Indianapolis can barely score 10 points against Houston, and then they put up 34 against Jacksonville, who we were talking about how great, Jacksonville's defense was
Yeah.
looking really good. Yeah. It was 14-13 at the half, Jacksonville. Second half, fourth quarter, Indianapolis scores 15 points to seal the deal, and they get the 34-27 win over Jacksonville. I,
Who did you have on your sheet?
do what?
Who did you have on your sheet for that
I
week?
did have the Colts on my sheet on that one because
I
I
think
didn't
I
think
had. I
Jackson.
think I had Jaguars.
Yeah, I didn't think Jacksonville was going. And every other week, Indianapolis plays a good game. So next week,
Yeah.
do not pick Indianapolis next week. But Matt Ryan has a big game: 389 yards, 3 TDs, no picks, and he'll have 3 interceptions next week and no touchdown. But Travis Etienne, former Clemson guy, Trevor Lawrence teammate, he has a pretty decent game. 10 carries, 86 yards on the ground, but comes up short. The Colts move to second in the AFC South, 3-2-1, and the Jaguars 2-4. They're third in the AFC South. So that was a big AFC South matchup there.
Yeah.
That may come back to bite Jacksonville in the end. All right. Gosh, another boring game. We had a lot of boring games this week, bud. Rams and the Packers.
I
Rams
thought
and the
this was gonna be
Panthers. Rams
better.
and the Panthers. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm saying Packers. I guess I heard boring, and I was thinking about the Packers. Um, yeah. What is going on with the Rams offense? They do not
Um,
look, except for Cooper Cup. They do not look like they're full speed. They look like they're in slow motion. I don't know what the deal is with them. Stafford
Matthew
throws another
Stafford.
pick six. I mean, and Carolina was up 10-7 at half, but yeah, second half was a different story. They kind of got their their feet right, I guess. And yeah, rushing game was bigger for for the Rams in the second half than their passing game was. That made a big difference. 2 rushing touchdowns in the second half and a field goal, and they get the win 24-10 over the Panthers. Rams go to 3-3, second in the NFC West. Panthers fall to 1-5, fourth in the NFC South. Now, last week, the Panthers started talking about they would be entertaining trade offers, and one of the guys was Christian McCaffrey. Don't know how serious the offers will be coming in for him. We'll see. Another one was, like you said, DJ Moore. The Giants had contacted the Panthers about DJ Moore. But this guy, they said they were trying to move Robbie Anderson, another wide receiver. Did you see on the sidelines, Robbie Anderson, he knows he knows they're shopping him around. So I guess he's just like, I don't really care what I do. So he's getting into it with his wide receivers coach on the sideline. You see him jawing back and forth a little bit. And then it comes down, the interim head coach, Steve Wilkes, ends up sending Robbie Anderson to the showers in the third quarter. And the next day, Robbie Anderson is traded to the Cardinals. So he got his wish, but here's my thing about it. I don't like when a player does that. You know, if they know they're getting shopped around, that just tells the other teams that they're shopping to, with your attitude the way it is.
Yeah.
You know, you've got an attitude. Now the Cardinals are taking a chance with him. He's definitely put up numbers when he was with the Jets. He didn't ever live up to what he did with the Jets with the Panthers. But I don't know. I have a hard time thinking I want him on my team if he's going to have an attitude like that. That's kind of Antonio Brownish.
I was just about to say that he might as well sign Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I mean, at least he didn't take all his pads off before he went off the field.
Yeah.
But and you know, well, no, it wasn't there. But you know, Carolina is going to definitely be in rebuilding mode, and Carolina might be the ones that I was thinking for a while the way Pittsburgh was playing, we might have the number 1 pick next year, but I think Carolina may save us there. They may get the number 1 pick over us. But yeah, Carolina just looks like they're in shambles right now. I don't know what the answer is. You know, if you're going to trade McCaffrey, I don't know what you'd get for him right now. He's so injury prone. And they're talking about they want at least a high draft pick or a couple of high draft picks for him. I don't know if a team will give up a couple of high draft picks for him. Who out there would need a running back right now? Buffalo, Singletary played pretty good. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Buffalo might be one that would need a running back. But are they able to give up high draft picks? I don't know what they've got left.
Go to Cleveland.
Cleveland doesn't need another running back. They got Chubb. They got Hunt. I mean, I'm looking at the list here. I mean, Jaguars, maybe. They've got ATN. They're young. The Lions, they've got DeAndre Swift. I mean, I don't really know. What about
a quarterback?
What about, and we didn't mention this to the Ravens thing, what about DeAndre Hopkins? I'm thinking about Deshaun Jackson at 35 signing with the Baltimore Ravens this week. Does he make a difference? I don't know, but I mean, yeah, they're grasping now to try to get something in there to help Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, because they know he can't do it by himself no more.
He's not gonna. They're not gonna unless they change the way they do things. You know, you got Mark Andrews who is probably your best weapon, but unless they change the way they run that offense, it's going to be the same old in Baltimore. I'm sorry to tell you guys, but if you want to go to a Super Bowl, you're a Baltimore fan, you better buy a ticket because your team's not going to get there anytime soon. All right. The game of the week, and they're the one that saved all these boring games. A rematch I think it was the AFC Championship game last year,
Hmm.
and at Arrowhead Stadium. The Bills take on the Chiefs. And probably, I'll say this after that game, uh, and I don't know if you agree with me or not. Probably you saw the two, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, the two best quarterbacks in the NFL right now, because they were just awesome. And I'll give Mahomes credit. Mahomes made some key mistakes, and that was hurt. Throwing an interception in the end zone at the first part of the game, and then the interception that pretty much sealed the deal. Um, yeah, he made some more mistakes than Allen did. Allen didn't throw any picks, 329 yards, three TDs, no interceptions. Mahomes, 338 yards, two TDs, and two interceptions. But and
Wow.
that seemed to be the difference there. But man, what a game that was! I mean, it wasn't as good as the AFC Championship game, but it was still one of the best games I've seen this year in the NFL.
Yeah, it
And
was a good game. I was sitting there watching it and wondering. I wonder what's going on with Patrick Mahomes.
yeah, I mean, he just
He's getting too sloppy than the Patrick Mahomes I knew
yeah,
just a couple years ago.
yeah. I mean, I don't know what the problem. He's making more mistakes, but teams are
Yeah.
catching up to him a little bit. But he's also having to do more. You got Kelsey, that is a weapon of his, and now Juju had a big game the other day, but you just don't. He doesn't have that home run hit with Tyreek.
No.
He doesn't have that. I can throw down the field and just let him go under it. They don't have that speed like that. But Josh Allen ends up making a big touchdown throw to Knox, and puts the game out of reach. Well, not put it out of reach, but puts Buffalo ahead, and the Buffalo defense. Von Miller gets some pressure on Mahomes and forcing him to throw the ball probably a little bit earlier than he wanted to, and the Buffalo defensive back was all over it. He jumped the route, got the interception, and that's the game, 24-20, and Buffalo goes to 5-1, first in the AFC East. Chiefs go to 4-2, first in the AFC West, and like I said, probably the best game I've seen in the NFL this year. Sunday
Agreed.
night football. I know Matthew was really watching this one.
Sure was.
Eagles and the Cowboys. All this talk all week about, you know, we're going to find out who's for real and who's not. So Cooper Rush still in at quarterback. Um, and guess what? All the Cowboy fans are right there going, well, we need when Dak gets healthy, we don't need to rush him back. Yeah, they're calling for Dak to come back now.
Already just off of that one loss Cooper Rush had,
Cooper
but
Rush, Cooper Rush, first half is awful. He has a terrible
yeah,
first half. They're down 20 to 3.5. Comes back and makes it look good. They uh, actually only lost after being down 20 to nothing at one time. They come back and get it within 20 to 17 until a late touchdown by the Eagles pretty much seals the deal as the Eagles get the win and remain undefeated, 26-17. Um, I'm like you, Matthew. This is just one bad game, and it was playing. He's an inexperienced guy. He's playing in Philadelphia, which is a bad place to play.
yeah,
And yeah, he made some mistakes, but he kind of righted the ship the second half and got it. They used Ezekiel and Pollard more. Ezekiel had 81 yards rushing, a touchdown, and that may be something they need to do more of. To if Dak even comes back, is use your running game. You got two good running backs there. Don't put it all on Dak's back, because I think I got it.
yeah.
I got news for you. When Dak went out hurt in the Tampa Bay game, that was late in the fourth quarter, and you hadn't scored a touchdown yet. You had 3 points.
Right.
So I mean, Dak is not going to come in and be your savior. I hate to tell you that, Cowboy fans. It's going to be your defense that's going to be your savior, and you need to figure out what you're going to do with your running game. I think you need to use your running game more. All right. So now the talk automatically goes to Philadelphia. They're 6-0. Somebody actually put up there the Eagles have a good chance of running the table and going undefeated. I had to laugh. They are not that impressive where I thought, yeah, you know, they could go undefeated this year. You're playing in the NFC East. Yes, you've beat Dallas. You beat the Giants. No, 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 no.
We
You
didn't
haven't
play
played
them
the
yet.
Giants yet. So
No.
you haven't even played the Giants yet. You beat Washington. So you've got to get through them again as far as division rivals, and you've got to get through the Giants twice. There's not going to be another team that goes undefeated in the NFL in our lifetime. I don't think so. And the Eagles are not. The Eagles are not the freaking 85 Bears, or they're not the 49ers from the late 80s, or the Steelers from the 70s, or the Cowboys from the 90s. They are not that team. They are not that caliber of team. They will lose games. And I said games. I didn't say a game. They're going to lose games. They're going to lose at least 3, maybe 4.
Who you
But
think can beat them right now?
I just think they're going to run into that. When you play those division
Normal.
rivals, Matthew,
Yeah.
everything's up in the air then. I mean, and you're gonna once you get this, you got a target on you now with the last undefeated team. Everybody wants to
Hmm.
knock you off now. So guess what? You can get everybody's best shot because they want to be the one that ended your undefeated season. And I just don't think I haven't seen where they're that dominant. Jaguars gave them that game. Um, so I just and the Lions had them on the ropes. I just don't see where they're that dominant where I think they can go 17-0. They've got a
Yeah.
long ways to go for somebody to even mention that right now. It's way too early to start talking about that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think they're going to be an undefeated team, but
No.
because I still think I think the Bills can beat them.
Oh yes, yes.
I think
I think the Chiefs could beat them.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I
Chiefs.
mean, but I mean, I'm sure on their schedule. Let me see if I can pull up their schedule right quick. Mhm. Okay, so next up, well, it's taking me a little bit longer. So they got a bye week this week, and then they play the Pittsburgh Steelers next.
Philly.
Houston, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they play them at Philly. Then they go to Houston, which that should be a win. Washington, who knows? That's another division game. Indianapolis, depends on which Colts team shows up. If they can put some offense out there, they may can do it. Green Bay, you never know with Aaron Rodgers. Tennessee, Mike Vrabel can come up with something. Derrick Henry. Then you got the Giants, possible at New York. The first game. Chicago will probably be a win. Dallas, you never know at Dallas. Then New Orleans, and then the Giants again. So I don't think they'll make it through there unscathed. I really don't. I don't think they'll make it through there without a loss.
No, but they're going to playoffs.
Oh yeah, they'll go to the
Yeah.
playoffs. They'll be up there, if not for the division. They'll have a wild card.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying they're going to fall to pieces and fall apart and just start losing games. I just say they're not going to go undefeated. That's way too early to be talking about that. So Monday Night Football, Chargers and the Broncos. Broncos defense playing good. Offense, not so good. You paid Russell Wilson all this money. And now you're playing your big route. This was going to be, to me, the division in football that was going to be the toughest division in football. You're going to have the Raiders playing good. You're going to have the la, 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 the Chargers. You're going to have the Chiefs, and then I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with the Broncos. The Broncos were supposed to be that was a team I thought, yeah, they could probably win the division. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a log jam, but it could be tough but they could win that division. Now
Yeah, I don't think.
it's gonna take a miraculous turnaround for
Yeah.
them to win this. Uh, Russell Wilson just does not look comfortable. They jump on the Chargers first, 10-0, and Russell Wilson throws a touchdown. But then they let the Chargers get back in the game, and the second half is nothing but field goals. They scored 3 points in the second half. They go to overtime and lose 19-16 to the Chargers. Russell Wilson's numbers: 15 for 28, 188 yards, one TD. Now there's talk that he's hurt, that he's got a groin injury. Who knows if he'll be
What?
playing this next week? So 2-4 with the Broncos, third in the AFC West. Chargers 4-2, second in the AFC West. And I'm not going to say I didn't think they might be third in the AFC West, but I thought it was going to be a log jam. Like it would be so like 3-3. I was thinking every team could be 3-3 in that division right now, but it was just such a tight division.
Yeah.
Are the Broncos what's the problem with the Broncos? Is it the system? Because I thought they said they were calling plays that Russell Wilson was comfortable with, that he was more comfortable with these plays, that he had picked them out. I don't understand what the problem is here. Is it just time, or Russell Wilson past his prime now?
Well, I don't think Russell Wilson's just the. I didn't think Russell Wilson was the solution anyway. I mean, it would help the solution, but I think it's
Yeah, but
multiple
it
things.
may not have been the solution, but it would have been should be better than two and
Turnaround.
four.
Yeah, it should, but now we know it's like I think it's the system. It's a whole different system that Russell
Yeah,
is playing. Obviously, he's obviously not comfortable. You can tell.
yeah, no doubt about it. It just it shocks me. I mean, I was talking to a Denver fan today, and I texted him a couple weeks before, or no, a couple of days before, and he was talking about, and I told him about Russell's injury. We said, "Well, ain't that just great?" But how about Dustin Hopkins, the kicker for the Chargers? He goes in there with a bad groin and kicks 4 field goals and kicks the game winner in overtime. Now he's out 2 to 4 weeks. So I mean, that's throwing it all on the line there. You think about it. You get a kicker hurt in a game, you don't have a backup kicker. All you can do is hope your punter has done some kicking, like some field goal kicking before. But they had to put him in, and he came through. I know it was a lot of talk about, well, he's probably not gonna. It's probably not gonna. He's probably not gonna make this field goal the shape he was in. He toughed it out. I have to give him credit there. Dustin Hopkins is one tough guy. He may be our unsung hero of the week right there for the final
Yeah, I
score.
mean, because he put his whole health on the line.
Yeah.
He had to, and it had to be hurting.
So I'm getting a update on we're in the middle of the Amazon Prime game. New Orleans is up right now 7-3 early in the game. So that's wow, that is early. They've already scored both of them already scored. Must have been a let's see. Yeah, it was a long touchdown from Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton
Mm.
pass for 53 yards. So all right. So while we're talking about that, and this is not going to affect my pick, uh, who you got for this Thursday night Amazon Prime horrible game of the week?
Yeah, I got the Saints.
Yeah, I had the Saints as well. Let me get my Where's my pen so I can get your picks? All right, so we both got the Saints. All right, Steelers and Dolphins. Who you got?
I got the Steelers.
Oh, we're destined to lose then. We are destined to
Yeah.
lose. So
Well,
I'm
I couldn't circle or.
I'm picking the Steelers as well. They'll probably come back to haunt me. Colts and Titans.
I got the Colts.
All right, I'm going with the Titans because the Colts played good last week, so they're
That's
due to
true.
play like
Yeah.
crap this week. All right, your big one right here. Giants and Jaguars.
I got the Giants.
Of course, of course. Tampa Bay and Carolina.
I got Tampa.
Yeah, we both got that. Lions and Cowboys. Tigers and Bears. Oh my.
I got the Cowboys.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys. Packers and Commanders.
I actually kind of slowed down on this one. I was like,
I
okay.
did too. I did too. I wanted to hear what your thought was on that because I was kind of thinking. I was like, oh, who am I going to pick here? And that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, especially since how terrible Green Bay's looking
Yeah,
and Washington's looking terrible. You got two bad teams. You just don't know.
you just don't know
you know.
who might end up on that.
But Stevie, I ended up with Green Bay.
I did too, but I would not be surprised with Taylor Heineke in there that the Commanders get the upset win. Paper MVP is out, so um, I know a lot of Reds. I see, I'm calling Redskins again. I can't stop. A lot of
They're
Commanders
Redskins.
fans were like, "We got Carson Wentz out. Now let's get Dan Snyder out, and we'll be okay." All right, Falcons and Bengals.
I got the Bengals.
Yes, I do too, but I think that's going to be an interesting
Only
game.
because they're at home. Only because they're at home.
Okay, Browns and Ravens.
I got the Ravens.
Yeah, I had to pick the Ravens because the Browns suck. Texans and Raiders.
I got the Raiders. I'd hope the Raiders win.
Yeah. Texans are in shambles, right? That's another team that
Yeah.
may be contending for the number one pick. Jets and Broncos.
I got the Jets. The way Jets been looking.
See, with me and you think alike, bud, because this isn't going to be any fun because I think we picked
Sometimes.
almost every one of them that we picked the same, except one, I think. Seahawks and Chargers.
I got the Chargers.
Yep. Chiefs and
I just don't
49ers.
see Seahawks doing much.
No,
Chiefs
they're
and
not.
49ers. I kind of slowed down on this one too.
What?
Because again, 49ers are like, I did because the 49ers are like so unpredictable.
Wishy-washy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I ended up with the Chiefs. Can't sleep on Patrick Mahomes quite yet.
No, I think he's probably a little upset about that last loss, and uh,
Yeah.
he may come out guns firing. I think they're going to win. And then Monday Night Football. Wow, I don't know how I'll stay awake on this one. Bears and the Patriots. Who's going to start? Bailey Zapp or Mac Jones?
Probably Bailey Zapp.
I
Oh,
would
I don't know
start
because
him.
Mac Jones is a finger, right?
They're saying Mac Jones may come back this week. I don't know for sure, but why? I mean, you got a guy on a roll like that. You know,
Yeah.
I
I
would
like to
just
see
leave
Bailey
him in.
Zapp.
I'd leave him in if I was
I,
Belichick.
yeah, me too. Because why not at this point?
And you can't let him if he does lose a game to the Bears and he gets out thrown by Justin Fields, then you need to just go ahead and cut him as soon as he walks off the field.
Yeah, because
That's
that's
pretty
not good.
pathetic.
But it is. But I ended up with New England.
Yeah, I've got New England too, unfortunately. So I think
Can't really depend on Justin Fields.
we had one game that was different. You had the Colts. I had the Titans.
Okay, yeah.
So with that, everything bragging rights this week all depends on that one game. It's going to come down to
Yeah. Well,
no pressure, no pressure. Indianapolis Colts or Tennessee Titans, no pressure, Vrabel. You've got to come through for me so I can talk trash to Matthew next week.
yeah. Hopefully they're on my side this week.
You got the horseshoe with the Giants, so you need to just let. I guarantee you'll give up. You'll give up a chance to have bragging rights over me if it means the Giants win again this week, right?
Yeah, definitely, and I'd take it, and I'd be proud of
Oh,
it.
Matthew, I got a score update for you. Bottom of the third, Astros lead the Yankees 3-0.
Uh-oh.
Astros are already up 1-0. I'll tell you who I'm pulling for though. I'm actually going to pull for a team I'm going to pull for the Padres because all these other teams, Astros won a World Series. Granted, they were cheaters. They've got an asterisk
Yeah.
beside it. Yeah, granted that they don't deserve to win another one. Um, Yankees, who cares? I don't want them to win.
Yeah.
Phillies have won in the past. Phillies have won, not recently, but not so far off. Padres, I don't remember them. I don't think they've ever won a World Series. I only remember them going to was it one back in the early '80s? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they went to the NLCS, but it was not. I- Padres have had trouble, and I'd just like to see somebody different do it. So I'm going with the
Yeah.
Padres. I'm gonna be a Padres fan for the next 2 weeks, as long as they hang around. Phillies are going down. All right. All right, so that
Well,
does it. That's pretty much does it for this week. We'll talk a little bit.
also, everybody get your picks in. If you get your picks in, um,
Something may
that
happen
might
for
lead.
you.
Yeah, that might lead up to something good that you can show off.
Exactly. And look,
Make your wife love you again.
I don't know about all that. I mean, it just depends on how long you've been with your wife. Um,
True, true.
so you can get your picks in, guys. Be sure to get them into us. Sooner the better. Of course, you probably can't get your picks in now. We probably next week we'll do it a little bit earlier so we don't have to worry about the Thursday night Amazon Prime game. Um, but yeah, get your picks in. You can send them to me on Facebook. You can find me on Instant Messenger, either one of my Facebook pages, on the fly, the final score, or my personal at Stevie Fly. You can also email me at the final score 7399 and at gmail.com. And we'll put all this information up for you guys to get your
Yeah,
picks in. But make sure you get your picks in. We want to be able to talk crap about your picks just like we do ours.
and y'all can talk crap about ours.
Yep. And if you want to
Yeah,
check us out on all the podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcast, um, Podchaser, Good Pods, and just subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a 5-star review, a good 5-star review. Don't give us a 1-star review. That would just be, if you want to do this for me now, and it doesn't cost you any money. It doesn't take 5 minutes. My birthday was this past weekend, was Sunday. You want to give me a belated birthday present? Leave us a 5-star review and
that's
get
not
it out
hard.
there.
That's not
Yeah,
hard,
it's not
y'all.
hard at all. It's not hard at all. If you like what you hear, I'm not asking you to commit a crime or anything like that. Or to buy me a present or send it to me or anything. But if you want to send me a present, that would be nice. I'll let you know. I'll let you know what my
A
address
Baltimore
is.
jersey, a Lamar Jackson jersey,
Yeah, Baltimore jerseys will come in handy because I'm about to run out of toilet paper right now. So
toilet paper.
yeah, that would be a good one, Matthew. Thank you. I appreciate you throwing that out there for me. I do need some more toilet paper.
Yeah, no problem. Make sure y'all take care of.
I will catch that from
Hey, well,
somebody.
happy belated birthday to you.
Hey, I appreciate it, bud. My last one in the 40s. So next year will be the big 5-0.
Wow.
Yeah,
Must be
yeah, that's
nifty.
what I said too.
Must
My
be nifty to be
wow,
50.
it's not. I'm not there yet though. Don't put me there yet. I've still got a ways to go. Still
Yeah,
got
you're Mr.
still got
49ers fan.
361 more days before 50 hits me. So,
You're 49, San Francisco.
oh jeez, don't put me for that on me either. Next week I won't be able to do anything. Um,
Right, yeah.
so that's going to do it for this week, guys. Keep your eyes open, your ears open on the Final Score Facebook page for a big announcement. Probably the first of next week we'll announce that, and that means you really, really need to get in your picks by then. Okay.
Yes. And start liking and commenting and
Start.
sharing so
Yes,
other
and we'll
people
have
can
a
get involved
big,
too.
big announcement for you guys, and it's a contest. It's going to be a contest that you can enter, and you'll come away. You got a chance to come away with something. That you don't have to pay for. All you have to do is follow simple instructions. So you should be able to do
So
that. All right, Matthew. Any last words for you?
no, happy belated birthday and go Giants.
I hear you. At least you didn't say go Yankees. I'm happy with that. Uh, yeah, and
Go Yankees.
go Astros. Go Astros. And as much as I talked trash about the Astros a few weeks back, and now I'm like, let's see,
Go
top of the
Astros. Come
fourth,
on now.
top of the fourth, and it's still three nothing. Who's up?
How about the Saints game?
Saints game before we get off there, still 7-3. Cardinals are driving though. Cardinals at the New Orleans 17, so still in the first quarter.
Oh,
So you still got a chance to if you got insomnia, you still got a chance to tune in to Amazon Prime, and this game will probably put you to sleep. So
yeah. Little nursery rhyme, nighttime thing you can
they
fall asleep
need
to.
to. If I'm Amazon, I'm like, why are y'all giving me these terrible teams? They hopefully it'll get a little bit better as the year goes on, but we'll see. All right. So, guys, that's going to be it for this week. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next week. That's the final score.